Question of the day. What is your favorite board game upgrade? Now, I've asked that question before, and I've been a little bit more specific about organizers and dividers, but I want to know specifically, what is your favorite board game upgrade? Now, I'm going to specifically be talking about a certain product today. You've seen it in the headline, but it also says other things. I'm going to show you some of my favorite upgrades to games, whether they be things that I've 3D printed, that you can get 3D printed, or whether they be, inserts and stuff like that, because I really want to get the conversation going about why you upgrade a game, whether it be for your own aesthetic appeal, whether it's for ease of access, what game you have gotten to the table more because of using upgrades to a game, whether it be dividers, inserts, etc. And what other kind of dividers would you like to see? What are things that you've homemade that you would like to see made in person so that they can be easier and maybe a little bit more sturdy and maybe more polished looking? So let's talk all things gaming upgrades right now as we take a look at the Catan Trading Post. This is a premium looking bit for Catan. It is gorgeous looking. Feels nice. It just kind of feels ritzy. So let's take a look at what the Trading Post is and some of the other upgrades that we've done here for your games, my games, our games, as we look right now at making our games better. So first and foremost, with the namesake of the video, I wanted to show you the Trading Post. It's made out of this nice material. It's not leather or suede. It's more like a fabric, but it's a really nice sturdy fabric. And what's cool is, so it's a box, and you notice it's got some kind of folds in this top part. Well, this top part comes off completely. And inside of here, you have this nice card tray for in Catan, you would have these for the different materials, right? So you have and I want to say one of these slides, it slides backwards like this. So now you have a 6-card card tray, just easily accessible. But the good news is, this will work for any game that you need to put stacks of cards in, because obviously there are a lot of games, and it's really neat the way it works. It's got that little hinge on it. But here's the best part. This top over here is not just a top. It is in fact a dice tray, which can be used also for any game that you like, not just Catan, right? So this, to me, is a very cool multi-use upgrade, because also I would love to see these come out more, these magnetic dice trays. I know there are a lot of some that snap together already, but this material is very, very nice. It feels, think of like an iPad case. That's really what this feels like it's made out of. It's the same thing as an iPad case. So then these will close back up, front shuts, pop that on just like this, and you are good to go. That is the Trading Post. I want to show you some other things that you can do with either access to a 3D printer or knowing someone who has a 3D printer, or you can look on Etsy and places like that you can upgrade your game. And I'm big on immersion, right? I talked about this on one of the board game breakfasts I did recently, but this is a great product, by the way. Before we go any further on stuff that's not on this is a fantastic product. It just looks good. It feels nice. It's just a nice, sturdy piece of equipment that you're going to want to keep. Even if you don't play Catan a lot, you're gonna want to use this for other things. And again, it's a nice homage for one of the games that got many people into the hobby. This is one of those ones that, you bring up games that are not hobby games and people go, oh man, yeah, have you ever played Settlers? That's what people typically call it when I hear it. But yeah, this is just a beautiful product with a nice throwback to a game that started probably many people's peak interest into this hobby. But let's take a look at some other upgrades right now. One of my favorite upgrades that I have for a game comes in Grand Austria Hotel. The resources are normally these little cubes right here, right? So you've got strudel, cake, wine, and coffee. Whereas if you have access to a 3D printer, you can actually print little wine glasses and paint them with some red wine in them. Here is some strudel, and again, this is back in my very early days of 3D printing, so I didn't paint the bottom of the green resin, but look, you've got a little strudel 3D printed on a plate out there, and you can use these as your resources instead of the resource cubes. You have nice little cups of coffee here, right? They even have a nice creamed coffee look because of the wash on them, but just super simple little things. These are incredibly cheap too. And then cake. My personal favorite here is like just a little nice strawberry cake, but these are just 3D printed. And so if you think about things that you can do like that with a 3D printer, you can then move over to this right here, which is one of our favorite games, period, Tzolk'in. But again, you don't have to have a 3D printer yourself. Bryan, I don't have a 3D printer. That's fine. You can find somebody who does, and you can do things like this, where you print out these pyramids, which sit on top of the cogs, which, by the way, another upgrade that doesn't cost a lot of money at all and takes very little skill, actually, even though it may not look like that. It may look like this is just insanely hard to do, is to paint these. You can pop them out and paint them, put the color in of the area around them. Now, this one in the middle obviously does take a little bit of work, but if it's something you want to do, you can have it shipped out to somebody else and they can paint it for you and send it back. But this is really not as difficult as it looks. You prime that in gray, you paint the little areas that are yellow. I mean, you can find reference photos all over the internet. And you use the colors that really match the game board and things like that, and you get this awesome centerpiece. And so it doesn't really cost any extra money. I mean, primer's $3, and you can do this with the Walmart cheap paint for 50 cents a bottle. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors on this. So for $3 and $3 for some primer and some coating, so under $10, you can have your cogs and wheels look so incredible just for a few bucks. And then put a little wash on it on the back end. That's probably another $3, and you know, under $12, you've got this beautiful centerpiece. But again, what we do is we 3D printed these out. These pyramids are actually they match the ones on the board, and we sit them on top of the cogs. So instead of seeing Palenque there just in paper and green, we would sit the actual Palenque pyramid right on top of it, and you'd be able to see it spin around. And what's cool is these will spin too. So you can watch my video on Tzolk'in versus Teotihuacan, and you'll see the difference in what this can make. But those are just a few easy upgrades that you can do just with a 3D printer and some paint. Now, obviously, we all know about organizers and things like that, and you can watch several of my video reviews on that, but I really love what the creativity does. So again, let me know in the comments below what your favorite upgrades are. So that's it. Let me know what you thought of those that I showed you that were not the Trading Post. And then the Trading Post, what do I think of it? Is it something you should get? Well, first of all, it's two things in one, which is what I love. It looks nice sitting there, first of all, with the red and the nice embossed logo. But it's two things in one. What I really love about it is the card tray, that nice card tray that holds the 6 different cards and things like that. But it's also a dice one of those magnetic dice things. And I really love the dice tray because you can use these to dampen the sound of dice if you're trying to play quieter. Also, it just keeps everything organized right there to where I'm not just going to use that for Catan. I'm going to use it for everything. I'm going to throw all dice into that because I love how easy it is to use. It's magnetic. It punches those corners together and boom, you have a nice dice tray ready to go. I'm also going to use the card holder for other things. But anytime I play any version of Catan, it's definitely going to get used because that's a premium looking upgrade. I'm a big fan of how this looks. Now, is it something you have to have? Absolutely not. But if you love Catan, if it's something you want to kind of throw in there as just that 25th anniversary of, or I think it's 25 years, whatever it is, and really kind of say, hey, I love it. It brings me back. I want to get something new, even though there's not a ton of new stuff coming out for it. I mean, other than the Star one. I want to get this, and I want to really spruce up the way my game looks. I would recommend it for that. But otherwise, it's just great to have as a nice dice tray and a nice card tray. Now, as far as the other upgrades, again, let me know in the comments below what your favorite upgrade is, what you enjoy, what you like to do if you like to make things yourself as far as upgrades. And let me know in the comments what other things you would like to see made. You know, what are the things you could see people making to make games better, whether it be 3-dimensional stuff, right, for Burgle Brothers or stuff like that. So I'm Bryan Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Bryan. Until next time, we'll see you.